Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be for Stargirl episode 7. In comparison to last week's episode, I would say that this is a slower paced episode for sure, but I don't mean that in a negative way. Last week we had Eclipso break free of the Black Diamond, so I expect that we will see him gradually growing in strength while simultaneously wreaking havoc that steadily grows until the finale. This is going to have a darker horror feel, and I think we are already getting a small taste of that with Yolanda this episode. Yolanda has been feeling a tremendous amount of guilt since she killed Brainwave in the finale of last season. She has been hearing the Brainwave sound along with Henry's voice. In the opening of this episode, she again attends confession and asks about the devil. While in this moment I think she's talking about Eclipso, she is also trying to justify what she did to Brainwave. Like she asked, if we kill something evil, will we be forgiven? The rest of Blue Valley is pretty unchanged as they prep for 4th of July, with the exception of the weather, which is a sign to Courtney and Pat that Eclipso hasn't moved on from Blue Valley. He's here somewhere, but they can't sort out where or exactly what he wants here. Barbara's still working for American Dream, who's moving on after Jordan's death last season. Here she has a weird experience with seeing a shadow that's kind of reminiscent of the Shade's powers, but then she finds a solo drop of blood on the table. This could either be Shade, who has been injured and trying to reach out to her, which is a strong possibility since he did face off with Eclipso last episode, or this could be a trick from Eclipso himself. Back to Yolanda, she has been unfocused at work, and another woman, Maria, offers to take a bad customer off her hands, but in the process we see her influenced by Eclipso to pour the coffee on the man. Yolanda sees the little boy that is Eclipso and gives him a comforting sucker, and then he vanishes, or really just kind of moves across the street. This is the best indication to me that what is happening to Yolanda is heavily influenced by Eclipso, but I'll explain it more here in just a second. Yolanda tries to reach out to Courtney but changes her mind when she sees her happy with Cameron. She goes back to the church where her mother is there at the priest's request to help her. I like that the priest basically called her mother out for being overly judgmental recently. It is pretty obvious that he's worried for her, but the conversation gets interrupted when she again sees Brainwave. Then Courtney becomes aware of the situation when Yolanda has a bad dream in summer school class. She envisions Brainwave and Henry, with Henry telling her that he's burning because she didn't forgive him for what he did to her. Courtney talks with her after in the hall and thinks the best way to move forward is to come clean with the rest of the team so they can support her through this. Remember, it's only Courtney that knew that Yolanda had killed Brainwave. I think that this conversation could have gone better, but wasn't terrible. Rick is accepting of Yolanda and tells her that he would have done the same thing in the same situation, but Beth is really unable to really give a response they're looking for because she's both in shock and just a non-confrontational person in general. Yolanda kind of lashes out at them, pointing out that none of them could have ever killed, which means when it comes time to kill Eclipso, it's going to have to be her to do it again. She's the killer of the group, and that's not something she wants to be. Yolanda heads back to the church again, and this time confesses that she has murdered somebody, but instead of the priest being there, it's Brainwave. He tells her he is part of her now because as he was dying, he transferred his consciousness into her, and it's only a matter of time before he takes over. It's hard to tell if this is true or not because we learn when Courtney arrives that this is just another vision. Courtney tries once more to talk to her, but instead Yolanda just quits the JSA. And then as the episode wraps up, she stopped answering her calls, quits the diner as well. Then in the last moments of the episode, we see Beth having troubled dreams with Eclipso outside. And this is where my thought that what is happening to Yolanda is from Eclipso, because he's eating the sucker that he gave to her. Almost like it's confirming that he's finished with her and now he's moving to Beth. One by one, he's taken. Yolanda was just the easiest target because she was already had all that guilt and those clouded feelings. Some other things that happen this episode revolve around Mike. He's been working with Pat on Stripe, and in doing so had his own weird Eclipso experience. He finds the remaining fragments of the Black Diamond and makes the mistake of touching them. He then has visions of himself being covered in leeches before Pat comes in and wakes him from the illusion. all in all, like I said, this was a little bit slower episode, but one that I still really enjoyed. I expect to have a few more of these same type of pacing episodes. I think Eclipso is going to go after Beth, Rick, and then Mike next. We will have Shade make a pop-in once he's healed, or we'll reach out to Barbara looking for help and healing. Either way, I expect to see him again in the next episode or two. So that's all I have for you guys for this breakdown, this episode. It was a slower one, yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I like the little horror element that we're getting, the visions, the illusions, the leeches, all that kind of thing is really getting darker and darker, and I think that's the progression we're going to see. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this.